So I harvested all the apples on the small apple tray, and it was actually almost a bucket. So now I'm going to make cinnamon applesauce and maybe something without cinnamon. So watch me, you can watch me if you like while I go ahead. So I'll just start by washing the apples and taking all the pits out. I will leave the peel on because I don't mind peel in my applesauce. So I'll go ahead. Here in my city in Denmark we have a very good garbage disposal arrangement. So all these leftovers, I of course cut off any bad spots, and the pits I will just put it in the bin because it will be turned into heat here in Denmark. So I will do that with no worry. So I washed the bucket and the apples are almost ready for cooking, but I will slice them into smaller pieces and just sit here quietly and put them in the pot. So I cut all the apples into smaller bits because I don't know how easily these apples boil down, and also I don't know how juicy they are. So, but I will not put water in the bottom. I will try and boil them on medium heat and then watch them so that they don't burn on the bottom of the pots. Now these are the Danish water bath jars, and they are quite different from the American ones. They close like this, and they have this rubber ring on them that you cannot put in the dishwasher. It does dry out at some point and you have to get new, and that's almost impossible because they come in thousands of sizes. But so far I've been using these, but I only have 5 small ones that I will boil to clean them, disinfect them in this pot. And I have put a cloth in the bottom of the pot so that the jars don't crack. And I will just put medium hot water in with the open jars, and then I will boil them until they are sterile. And today I also get new jars in the mail from Amazon, so it will be half-pint jars, and I will also boil them later tonight and put some of the applesauce in them. So this is what it looks like, and then I will just boil it. I put in a pint jar also with a lid, and this will be taken out when it has boiled. So while the apples are boiling, I will pour myself some wild plum lemonade that I made from some wild plums I found in the wild, of course. And I will put some sparkling water in it on top, and it tastes wonderful. Here in the beginning, when the applesauce is beginning to melt down, I stir it. I take it away from the bottom so that it doesn't stick, and you can see it is already starting to break down. So these apples seems to be easily broken down. That's very good for applesauce. So I do that occasionally, and I put the heat on medium to a little above medium to get the sauce going. I've been lucky enough to move into an old house where that has a small basement, and down here, along with all the mess, I will show you the stairs up. It's quite steep, and all my Christmas gear and extra chairs and everything. But here I have my pantry shelf, and I have water baths, wild cherries in syrup. I have rose petal jelly. I have some tomato water, tomato juice that I canned along with these tomatoes. It's tomato sauce. And then I have some chicken broth. And on the bottom shelf I have different kinds of lemonades. There's not so much right now. This is apple, this is aronia, this is wild plums, and this is also aronia. Now the jars are boiling, so I will take them out. This is enough, and I'll see if I can. Okay, so I'll try with the other end. See if I can get the water out without burning myself. These jars will be more tricky, I think. No, it's actually going quite fine. And just like that, I'll pull out all of them. As you can see, the apples have boiled down quite a bit, and I'm stirring it quite often because otherwise it will stick. It started stick to the bottom of the pot. I put in a little splash of water because it was starting to stick, but now I just turn it off so that it doesn't burn. And I have to keep doing that until it's completely boiled down. I can't do it properly with one hand. I don't have professional filming here, so you have to do with this. It's coming along. I don't always add sugar to my apple sauce or porridge, but this is quite sour, so I will add a little bit. And I will also add some cinnamon because I really like that in applesauce. It's organic cinnamon. So let's see how this goes. I went free dancing and I left the pot on the stove. I took some of it out. I ended up immersion blending it for a bit. And then I filled up these jars. And now I'm going to wipe them with a paper towel with some vinegar on it and put them in the water bath. And I already started the water bath. I will just use the water that I boiled the jars in. It's still a little warm, and I still have the cloth on the bottom of the pot. So I will go right ahead. The water isn't boiling, it's a little warm. The apple sauce is a little warm, not so much, but I think this will be okay. So the water level is above the highest jar. And then I will wait until it boils with starting the time, and I will check what the water bath canning time is for applesauce. So the jars have been boiling away for 25 minutes, and now I'll take them out. I will leave them for 24 hours to cool. Ooh. Oh, that was not so good. You want to tilt it, and that can mean that there will be apple sauce under the lid because it hasn't sealed yet. I just hope it will be okay. So I'll pour some of this water out and boil the next portion of jars. So as the water was too hot, I mixed it with cold water so it got lukewarm and I could put my hands in it. So I will boil new jars like I said, but you could actually boil in two, what's it called, 2 layers. If you have a rack for your pot, so that you put jars of equal size in the bottom and then a rack and then jars again. If your pot is big enough and the water is like 2 centimeters above the top jar, then you can water boil in double portion. But since I didn't have the jars yet, I'm doing it this very slow way, where it takes a lot longer time. And now I'm waiting for my jars, and since the jars will now be hot and my apple sauce is cold, by now I will reheat it a little bit so that I can put them directly back into the water, into the hot water, and boil it, and water bath it, I mean. So I will put my apple sauce on a little bit under half heat, medium heat, a little under medium heat, yeah. And then I will catch up with you again. So now the jars have been boiling for a while, shortly, and I will, I always done this the wrong way. So I will take them out and fill them up with the now hot applesauce. When you water bath the things that can be water bath, that will be things with a pH under 4.5, fruits and tomatoes with lemon juice. You need jars from where the air bubbles that will be created when the liquid in the jar is boiling can get out of. So you cannot use old jam jars from the store to water bath can. You risk that they explode because these jars here have the rubber ring, and that means that the air can get out. And these mason jars are not, the lids are not put on very tight, which means that the air bubbles can get out. Just trying to fetch the last jar here, or the last lid. And so I will fill my jars. I just need to get rid of this pot with the water in. No, I think I'll just put it over here because I need to use it in a short while to water bath can. So I will leave about a centimeter headspace in these jars. That is enough. I didn't check if that was the approved method, but it always works for me. So I'm just debubbling with the spoon. Bubble to make sure that there's not air bubbles in the sauce to make the jars not seal. I never had that happen yet, but I have not been water bath canning for so very long. In Denmark we use a preserve called ethanol. So the old-fashioned way of water bath canning things is mostly forgotten. So I watched a lot of American canners. That's also why I bought these jars from America. It's very expensive to have them shipped to Denmark. It costs exactly the same as the jars in themselves, so I paid double price. So you can imagine that I really wanted the jars. So the pot is almost empty now. So I will take a little bit from here and put over here. And then it fits 4 jars. I'll give it a taste test. Very good. And so on with the lids. It's a very large pot for I forgot to wipe the lids with vinegar. I'll just wash these lids and then I'll wipe them with vinegar. Here we go. I actually don't think I got anything on the edges here. Oh yeah, I did. So, last one. There we go. It's It's only 4 small jars in a very large pot, but now I have this pot going, so I will just water bath my jars in that. And the rings need to be put on finger tight for the air bubbles to be able to get out. There you go. Back on the stove with the large pot and in with the jars. Now this is very hot, the jars are very hot, and the water is very hot. So I put it on full heat, and then I will wait until it's boiling in the pot, and then I will boil it for 25 minutes. So this is the last thing to do, to pull the jars out of the pot. One of them tilted, it's not recommended to put so small jars into such a large pot. But here it is. And like I said, it will stand here for 24 hours and then it's done. I will show you if I can. Here is the finished batch. Almost 1 bucket of apples from the garden. Applesauce with cinnamon.